What's up folks, welcome back to the channel. It's Fozza here. Today is Monday, so we have yet another custom tactics video for you guys on FIFA 22. This time we're going to be taking a look at the 3-4-1-2. So there's been all this rave about the 3-5-2 recently after a pro player had great success with it in a tournament. Everyone kind of transitioned onto that, but we covered the 3-5-2 a couple months ago. I want to look at the 3-4-1-2 now. Very similar, but instead of having defensive midfielders, you just have central midfielders. So I absolutely loved playing with it. I think if you're at the stage of the year now where team of the season's coming, so it's going to get a little bit more sweaty, but you want to have a bit more fun in the game, trying different teams, trying different systems, this is a great one for you. You have a lot of flexibility with the players you can use. Say, this is the team I used with it, and we'll talk through the personnel in a little bit now. But if you do enjoy the video, please do leave a like right on it, it'd be greatly appreciated. Let me know you're enjoying the content, helps with the algorithm, it's all good. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button. We're over 800 subs now, we're making the push to 1,000 to be able to apply for the YouTube Partner Program. So all support on that is greatly appreciated. And without any further ado, let's jump into it. So you can see we're playing 3 at the back, but I do have 4. I've got a 4 at the back system. So I am going to be using a fullback at centre back as one of my wide players. I feel at this point in the year, with how good some of the fullbacks are, this works the best. You can opt to say have a 3 at the back or 5 at the back starting system and use 3 centre backs. But I think if you get a fullback who works well as an outer centre back, then to do that instead, and that's exactly what we did with this system. So let's look over to the custom tactics and actually take a look at everything. So tactics wise, we are playing press after possession loss. It's 45 width with 65 depth. Not going too crazy on the depth, but you still want it to be enough so there's a presence and that your centre backs are there to help support the team. Keep in mind, with not being defensive midfielders and being central midfielders instead, there is that opportunity for a little bit of gap to form. So if you play at lower depth, I think you'll notice that much more. I think 65 into maybe 70 if you want it is a really sweet spot. 45 width for me on the defensive style has become one of my favourites. Now, a lot of people for a while were using like 30 to 35 when they had 3 centre backs. I did notice my centre backs were a little bit wider than usual in this system, so maybe if that's a worry if you trim it down to 40. But for me, I found having it on 45 actually meant I had some good passing opportunities. Now, if you watch like a 3 centre back system, say Chelsea or like Mourinho's Roma at the minute, the wide centre backs, they don't just always sit really tight to the central centre back. They get out wide and they create passing opportunities, and this is exactly what this does. Obviously in FIFA, that can hit you sometimes if you give the ball away on one of those passes, like boom, you're going to get hit on a through ball counter attack really, really quickly. But then if you're aware of it and you don't give the ball away, it's not an issue. So just keep that in mind. Build up wise, fast build up and forward rounds. It had to be for this system. We've got a left mid and right mid with the opportunities to get in behind and create opportunities. And then the fast build up, obviously, if you wanted the ball back on the press and you have this fast build up on, especially with a 3 at the back system, with lots of opportunities around the pitch, I had so many passing lanes I could take. It was fantastic. The width at 55, because I do want the wingers to get involved quite a lot. I want them to be wide. I don't want them to be cutting in too narrow all the time. 4 players in the box and 1 for corners and free kicks. It's just the best to use if you don't want to get counter attacked from these suggestions. There's not more to say there. Formation wise, so as you see, goalkeeper, obvious. Centre back system, the 3 centre backs do play here. You should put your beefiest player in the middle, or your most like comfortable on the ball player out wide, or say if you've got 2 right-footed centre backs, whoever's got the best weak foot out on the left-hand side, that kind of thing. So in this system, DeFree has the 5-star skill moves with a 4-star weak foot, I believe. So like, you know, he makes sense to be on this side. He is right-footed, I'm pretty sure, but he's got a 4-star weak foot. He's got the skill moves to go. He's got really good pace, really nice dribbling. So he's got the speed and like the ability to control the ball on the outer side of things. Chiellini's got dives into tackles and just as a brick. I want him in the centre, and then Cafu's my fullback who we're using here. Instead, I wanted to get Roberto Carlos involved just with how good his crossing is. And obviously, I've seen a lot of people use this Cafu. They took him from swaps. They use him right back, or they use him as centre back. Does a really good job. You can look, I'd say maybe players like Caliguri, if you can put it in that SBC, like his stats would be really good here, but you also want to use him elsewhere on the pitch because he is such a good player. But that's kind of what you're looking at personnel wise in this system. Midfield wise, you do want a midfielder who's like say medium, high, or like ideally what Tonali is, which is medium attack and high defensive. Although you've got 3 centre backs, you do want a more defensive minded player. But in this case, Tonali's perfect because he's a player that can score, he can pass, he can dribble, he can get forward with it. Essentially, it's his work rates that are like the benefit here. So he is essentially a box to box player, but the work rates are really beneficial for how this system plays. Beside him, you want someone. I've got Pellegrini, who is medium, I believe. Or possibly high medium, I'm not 100% sure on that, but essentially you want a box-to-box player here. You want someone who's Ideally 4-star minimum. Pellegrini is not that, but from a bias I have in the team. They'll be able to come back and defend if you want, but they are going to be getting into a lot of goal scoring opportunities, so it's good to have those opportunities. Here, this is one of your fullbacks will be playing as a wide man, and you'll see how that affects the instructions in a moment. That's where Roberto Carlos is here. Obviously, he's a left back, so I'm going to play him on the left side. If I was playing Roberto Carlos, the centre back, then Cafu would be playing right mid, and Perisic would be over on this side. Perisic got a 5-star weak foot, so I can play him on either side, which is quite nice. But essentially, whatever fullback is going to go forward, you want them on the preferred side. The Perisic on the right side, you want a normal winger in this situation, so you've got a bit of a combination of a winger and a wing back. And then here's very self-explanatory. You want 2 strikers and a cam. You can play a winger in the cam position as we do with Pedro. Mkhitaryan playing kind of as a secondary striker here, but the front 3 is kind of self-explanatory. I still feel someone like Tammy Abraham or that Weghorst card is really good here, and then get 2 like agile, minimum 4-star players with a bit of pace behind them, and then you're sorted. Instructions wise, because that's what you're all here for, we are running balanced for the goalkeeper, nothing too crazy. The centre backs are all default. We're not changing like anything weird here, like play as a striker or join the attack or overlap. I might test overlap in the future in these situations, at least on one centre back, because it could be good. But I feel that's still better for a 5 at the back rather than 3. So nothing crazy here. Now, I want to look at the middle of the pitch with Tonali, who, as I say, stay back, stay on the edge of the box with cross and cover centre. This is your guy who you want them to be able to essentially play as a box-to-box, but be a bit more akin to the DM position. So Tonali works out perfectly, and that the instructions kind of make sense for him. Pellegrini, who I think this is a situation where you want a box-to-box player, they're going to be get forward and get into the box for cross. Because you've got 3 centre-backs and Tonali will stay back, you can kind of roam free with the centre mid. You can get them involved with the game as much as you want. I really like Pellegrini being here. I think he is 3-star, 4-star, however, so I think you want at least a 4-star, but there's plenty of options in the game this year, people that can play here. So, you know, you've got fantastic options to use. Wide man. Now, this can change depending on what side you have people on, but essentially whichever side your fullback is on is what you want these custom tactics to be. You want them to come back on defense, get in behind, and get into the box for cross. You want them, I think some of the gameplay will showcase this, essentially when I'm getting forward, and say I have Roberto Carlos with the ball, and I'm going to cross it in. Perisic is then making this run, and because he's like essentially like a wing back, he's a wing back, he's the right mid getting behind. The 4-back defense doesn't always track it, so you'll find that like Roberto Carlos go to cross it in, and then Perisic is making this run into the box, no one marking him, boom, he can score. That's because they have to get into the box on. And you do want them to come back in defense. If you don't have that, that's when you can start to get punished quite a lot for it. And then over on the other side, basically it's the exact same, but you put cut inside on. So whatever side your attacker's on, have that cut inside on, and whatever side your fullback is on, don't have them on cut inside. Essentially that, if the fullback's there, you don't have cut inside on. If it's a winger, you have cut inside. That's the best way it can be explained. And obviously, as I'm saying, you can't have Perisic on the left-hand side with these same instructions, and then you'd have a right back, say Cafu, on the right-hand side without the cut inside on. Then we have our cam, and Pedro was great for this. He was just aggressive interception and get into the box for cross. I've been preaching this over the past few videos now. Aggressive interceptions works absolute wonders on cams. I find it's best in a system where you have one cam, which obviously this is. Essentially, I've got Pedro running around like a little bulldog here. Although he doesn't have aggression or anything, this man was winning the ball back. He was challenging for things, he was going for headers. It was really nice, and I scored a lot of goals with him. He was always really nice in build up. So I found actually this cam drops a little bit deeper with how the team is when defending and for build up. But then that worked really well for being able to get into passing lanes for Perisic, Carlos, Mkhitaryan, and so on. Striker side of things, we have Tammy Abraham. He's the big man. He stay forward, stay central, getting behind. And then Mkhitaryan is just simply getting behind. We're kind of using him as a secondary striker here. He's got the 5-star, 5-star, really well-rounded card, absolutely fantastically rounded card. He's really good for this sort of situation. Maybe you could use someone like Dybala here as well as a personnel idea. But that's the tactics and instructions. If that's all you wanted, guys, thank you for tuning in. That was great. If you want to see the gameplay now, we'll flick over to that in a second. Do I want to say the changes? No, I do not. To say that was the team. Super sub wise, we were using Caligiuri, Baldy, and Suso off the bench. I brought Suso on around the 70th minute for Roberto Carlos. Baldy came on for Tammy Abraham, and then Caligari would sort of come on instead of Perisic. But yeah, let's jump into the gameplay now, guys, and we sort of show you how good this formation was. So the first one we look at is actually going to have a bit of a defensive issue in it as well. It's 3 goals and then a defensive issue, which is the main issue we'll experience. Then after that is all goals galore. So very early on in the game here, we've won the ball back with the press, and then you'll see the fast build up here. Roberto Carlos eager to get forward, Mkhitaryan, as I say, secondary striker, Carlos eager to get into the box, and Tammy Abraham just sort of knocks it in. But you can see Perisic is making the run at the edge of the box for us. This is where we can see, so obviously I've not fully won the ball back, I've given it away, but if I can try and pause it, so he's hit the ball forward, I've gone for the header, but already here it's a 3-on-3. So he's probably playing with 2 strikers and a cam, or a striker and left forward, right forward. In the middle of the pitch, though, we've got a bit of control. We've got our left mid coming back. We've got our left mid coming back, our right mid coming back, and we've got our 2 midfielders. I think that's actually Pedro there, because Pellegrini had been getting forward. But Caligari picks the ball up, and I've had to come out with the free because neither the left mid or right mid were an opportunity, so I cut in and go for the tackle. So it leaves a 3-on-2. And if you have past players, he just hits a 3-ball through. I tried to play the offside, it didn't work, and then boom, he's through. This is the biggest example of where this formation has a defensive flaw. Outside of that, though, honestly, you're pretty fine. But I wanted to showcase that so you guys are aware, and basically the rest of it's now just looking at the goals you can score and the sort of opportunities you get with the system. So I think it's just a theme with my play. There's a lot of counter attacks. I think the fast build up works for this. You can see Pedro, as I said, does come back deep and then creates the passing opportunities. Perisic is here trying to catch him. Roberto Carlos will get him wide. We do play it through down to Tammy. Managed to get by that tackle. Mkhitaryan, as a secondary striker, is there to pop the goal in. But it's really easy to build up with this. The team gets forward really nicely, and you have plenty of opportunities. Yeah, the third goal in this one just came from his goalkeeper, right, making a mistake, and then we got a swift little reg quit. Tried to play it out, boom, the team is there. They're pressing because we lost the ball. And we finish it off. This game, I won 6-0. It was we absolutely blitzed it. Some of the goals were just from, I'd say, him not being quite as good. And I want to find the good goals here and showcase them for you guys. So this one came really early on while we're transitioning into the system. You can see, as I'm saying, Pedro does drop deep, but as I think it helps build up. So Tonali's here, Pedro's dropped in deep, you've got Perisic going back, Roberto Carlos coming back, so they're both a little bit forward of the 3 centre backs. But this is essentially the defensive system that you'll have. I managed to win the ball back with Tonali, and then Pedro's there to help out straight away. And already we've got a 2-on-2. This guy's playing a 4-back with the back with the full-backs going forward. So it gives us the opportunity for these little 1-2s to play, as I do with Tammy Abraham. Managed to time the offside trap run really well with Mkhitaryan, and then it's just a nice little dink over the top. But you'll get that a lot with your defensive shape, especially when playing with teams with 4 at the back. This is a really good idea, showcasing of winning the ball back, being able to distribute with your centre midfielders to the right mid and left mid who are up and down the pitch all the time, and then the involvement you get with your centre mid. So you can see Pellegrini here, if I sort of go around him, I've passed the ball with an L1 pass. I want him to get forward here. Tonali is going to have the distribution, so Perisic is making a big run forward. Pellegrini and Abraham are both getting into the box here, but Pellegrini, obviously with being the centre mid, isn't as keen, but he does go in there with a really nice finish. So that's how he's going to get involved, and that's where I want you guys to have a box-to-box player that can finish. Otherwise, those opportunities you won't necessarily score from. Again, this is from a corner. We won the ball back with Chiellini, and you can see we've only got 1 player. I think it's Mkhitaryan up at the top here, but we've got 3 players ready for a bit of build-up. We've got Perisic, Pellegrini, Pedro. We have Tammy and Roberto Carlos here. And just watch the pace, the ground that Roberto Carlos makes up here. So we're playing little 1-2s. A lot of space instantly here for my left midfielder, Carlos, to work through. Got really lucky with the offside for the chip through to Mkhitaryan there, but that's the sort of thing you're going to get from your left mid and right mid getting forward in this system. This is really another counter attack. We've won the ball back game. Pedro playing deep. Tonali and Perisic here. That's Pellegrini making the run. Roberto Carlos is going to start going forward. And if you can just see in the bottom of my screen here, look how much space there is here. If Roberto Carlos starts to make a run, it gives us a great option for the ball to go to. I see the run for Tammy, don't have a feeling I can beat him here. Mkhitaryan gets into the box, and then I managed to chip it, just a little cheeky chip over from Tammy. And this is when this guy sort of started to fall apart. We won the ball back straight away from kick off. Pedro linking up with Tammy. Get it back into Pedro, and then just score again. And then, although this is when this guy sort of giving up, but this shows Perisic. So Perisic is currently here. He's not necessarily in a good attacking position right now, but we do have Pedro deep, we've got Roberto Carlos, Pellegrini, Tammy Mickey, and then Perisic here at the right mid spot. But when I get the ball into Tammy, Perisic starts to go for it. He's like, okay, I can get into the box. Goes to him. Pellegrini was also there to possibly pick the ball up, and then it's just a nice finish. You can see how the centre mids and the right mid and left mid do get involved. I have a few goals to pick out in this game. We won at 6-2. I think showcasing the 2 goals we conceded is really good again. Just to sort of, it's not all like rainbows and unicorns with the system. There are some flaws you'll get. But overall it was absolutely fantastic. As you can tell, the amount of goals I'm scoring each game. So this stems from another build up. You can see Perisic was back there helping us defend. Pedro in here, so we're acting as a cam to distribute things. Mickey tries to make a run. A lot of little 1-2s in this system is what I'll say. I don't know, say lucky, but I beat the man quite nicely there to get through the goal. You want a lot of 1-2s and like L1s, like where you trigger L1 to make someone make the run for you. That's a lot of this. It's those little passes, passing goes, and like sending people on runs. This is a goal we can see that quite possibly I did something wrong. So here you got our 3 centre backs. Roberto Carlos obviously is trying to attack with Perisic, is marking this winger that he has, and he's got 2 men in the middle. I think I get absolutely done out wide here. I do. Neymar absolutely ruins my free. I then have to pull Chiellini across, and at this point it's kind of like a 2-on-1 in the box. Goes to Fofana at the edge of the box. I tried to get in there for the interception with Cafu, didn't quite work. He cuts it back. That's a general sort of goal to concede, not necessarily a flaw off the formation. This is again defending. I've won the ball back fine. Pedro, as we mentioned, does drop deep. Tammy, we're in a 2-on-3 here, but Pellegrini is going to be getting forward. Perisic and Carlos both making runs. We play it out to Tonali. I was initially, so what I would normally do here, when I got this ball to Tonali, what I would normally do is take the touch and play it out to Carlos. I would have started taking the touch, had this player come onto me, hit L1 for Carlos to make a run, and then Carlos would have been through on goal for a shot or a pass. With how he pulled his player out, I kind of had that moment of I might get Mickey through here. I do with the pass, and then I managed to finish it off nicely. So you kind of have 2 options there when you get the ball to Tonali. You can either get your left mid involved, he's making the run, or you can just play a quick pass into one of your strikers. This really highlights why I think you should have a good box-to-box player. This is all Pellegrini here. He's got a bit of power to beat Neymar, but then look, he's got the pace to make the run. I could have played a ball through to Neymar or to Abraham, but I've been doing that a lot in this game, so I wanted to do something a bit different. I managed to win the ball back with Pellegrini because we've got the press on, and then it's just little quick taps into the box. But that's where the pass and the fast build up helps quite a lot. This is the second guy this guy scores, second goal this guy scores in this game. So I pull out with Chiellini here. Neymar manages to take it by him. We get a little bit loose here. Tonali didn't properly track back as he's a centre mid, not a DM. I think that's where it worked. If he was a DM, that wouldn't have been much of an issue. But as we're 40 up at this point. I've had a lot of control in this game with this system. We go on to win 6-2. This is an absolute rocket shot here from Pellegrini. So this is where I'm saying he does get involved a lot. We don't have Pedro here, but the space is being filled by Pellegrini. He's on get forward, get into the box with cross. We'll lay it onto him, and then just absolute top bins, smashes it in. This goal was actually a fantastic way of quick link up. I've won the ball back with Pellegrini. Calagiuri is now on at right mid. I'm going to smash this. You can see though, this is a 4 player. So Suso is my left mid. We've got our 2 strikers and our cam here. I just absolutely smashed this, trying to get it to Suso, I'll be honest. But the ball drops nicely, and at this point we've got 4-on-3. Technically a 4-on-4 with Fofana dropping back, but it's a 4-on-3. I managed to somehow win the ball and then just finish it off with the ball. But that's where you can hit those big looping balls in behind, and because you've got basically 3 core attackers and then your left mid, your right mid who's going to be getting forward, you have a lot of ways to play in the attacking system. This goal I really like. So we've won the ball back again. Without FIFA, as a lot of these are like winning the ball back and going. But this just shows how nice the build up is. So we played the ball through to Tammy. He's our sort of hold up man. Mkhitaryan already, I'm thinking I might get a ball through to him on the run. I do manage to turn. I managed to cut back to sort of give him space for the run. He's now pulling someone out. I've got Pedro on get into the box. I don't even have to hit the L1 button for him. I can make a run. He just makes it, and then boom, nice little finish. Just not necessarily one touch football, but lots of like just little quick passes in the build up, and you can do that with the fast build up. Just one thing to highlight is how the hell did Pedro not finish this opportunity? He's obviously missed his tackle. I've played across to Pedro. I've been like, hit circle, mate. Finish that off. Another case of winning the ball back with Pellegrini. Obviously, we've got the press, and I'm manually pulling him out here to make that tackle. So we've essentially got a 5 back in defence. We then have Tonali here, and because I've won with Pellegrini, Pedro sort of dropped into the space until I won the ball back. As soon as I win it back, they're all eager to get forward. We've got Mkhitaryan making a really nice run into the box there for us, and then just finishes it off. But guys, that's all the gameplay. I do try to get in between like 4 to 5 different games for you guys just to showcase it, because obviously I could go in and win one game like 8-0 at the start of the champs and be like, oh look, the formation is great, but I want to actually showcase some of the issues with it. We managed to do that with some of the goals, you can see that. But overall, the build-up opportunities you have, both in regards to like, although we're playing press after possession and fast build-up, you can actually hold the ball a little bit. I find that because there's so many avenues you can pass it into, you are still going to be going a bit faster than normal, but you can definitely pass the ball around and work an opportunity really well with this system. Obviously, we showcased the counter-attacking abilities on it as well with the press. overall, I loved it. I had a lot of fun playing with it. Kind of sad that I'm going to have to test a different formation because I did really like this. So I'm going to have a think and see is there anything else creative-wise you can possibly use for Team of the Season, and that'll be up next Monday. If you do have any suggestions or any formations in particular you want to see, let me know down in the comments below. Let me know if you do try the system out, how you think of, what you think of it, how you get on with it. It's always good to see feedback. I've got people who may be stuck in a division, they change into the system, they manage to get promoted, which is fantastic to always hear. Makes me happy for you guys, and it's good to know that I'm doing my job well. You know, I'm giving you good tactics that work. So if you enjoyed the video, please do leave a thumbs up on it. It's greatly appreciated. It helps out the channel, helps the algorithm, all that good stuff. As I said at the start, if you hit that subscribe button, we're trying to hit 1,000, so all support on that is greatly appreciated. You guys have been killing it anyway over the past few months on the support. The channel's been ticking away nicely, and I do really appreciate that. But that's me for today, guys. Icon Swaps 3 comes out tonight, so this video is going to go up at 4. Icon Swaps 3 is going to come out at 6. I might have a video up tonight on that, or possibly tomorrow to run through the players, the fastest way to complete the swaps and all that good stuff. But that's me for today. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching, and bye.